Heads Up Commander for points here at the IRONROOT Chef Challenge. Hello and welcome to coverage of the Magic Online Community Cup. We're here in what is going on.
I thought this was why you weren't talking. I thought you were just in stunned silence.
So we're watching Commander play out here, and as you can see, the players are on theme with their decks. BDM, explain to us what's happening here.
I cannot. So Robert Schuster's on your left. He's playing a Ramirez DiPietro pirate theme.
Did you see that pirate flip hair back he's got? That's down really.
He's playing a pirate theme deck. Joel Larson on your right is playing a Metamai Sphinx theme deck. Now he said, "Look, I'm just doing my best to be in full chef's gear here, but I understand that I don't have Greek Sphinx gear." He's like, I have the only thing I could come up with. And he's like, because Robert Schuster came in with the pirate gear, and he's like, I've got to up my game.
Right.
And so somehow he was not able to find Grecian inspired Sphinx gear, but he was able to find Egyptian, and he acknowledges what's wrong here.
And Joel wanted us to know in the booth.
This is pretty island. I'll give you points for that. Traveler's Amulet. How is Metamai a traveler?
Read the lore, man. Read the lore.
So both of these players, had to build around a commander. Community chose first with head chef Jimmy Wong.
No, I know.
And he chose Metamai the Ageless. So Metamai the Ageless was his build around, and then Robert Schuster went second, but he chose Ramirez DiPietro.
All right.
And he was very happy about that. That was the card he wanted. That was the card he wanted, actually, and was really surprised to be able to get it sort of on the draw, so to speak. And there we go. I think we are looking at this right now. And you see the expedition map, the coastal piracy, the capsize, the acquire, very pirate-themed ingredients, and play the Dread Ship Reef. I love that. Again, I think there's a huge opportunity in Commander to get very flavorful with the lands.
Yep. I just now got it. Lighthouse Chronologist. Oh, chat is closed. What should we do about that Lighthouse Chronologist? Probably not much is the answer.
Hopefully not.
So, yeah, we're not great about this.
There's Merchant of Secrets.
Nope, we're good.
Sorry, we're just fiddling around here. There's a Lighthouse Chronologist. So I know that the community team decided to go with kind of a time-based theme for their match.
Oh, geez.
Ramirez commands the seas.
They felt like if they were going to play around with Metamai, there's a tidal. Oh, look at that. A tidal wave is going to eat the Lighthouse Chronologist. Oh, my God. He made a wave token, and he ate the Lighthouse Chronologist. He just washed away the Lighthouse. How inadvertently flavorful is that you get the Lighthouse Chronologist with it?
Great.
Can you give bonus points to the other team for that?
They do flying. That's
Captain of the Mists.
not a big fan of things that fly. What do you think?
I'm very excited about this.
Okay, cool. We will look
Here we
for
see
some treasure
expedition map.
to plan our expedition. Through the seas.
Gonna pass the turn.
Got my eye on you.
Oh, that's awesome.
And now we're set up with both players' hands.
the headshots of the
Commander.
I can't even begin to. Joel Larson, if that's not his Facebook profile picture, within a few. Wow, we got a Metamai the Ageless. We got our first commander in play.
Okay.
Metamai the Ageless.
Oh, and Yo
For
Larson
Yo
feels
Larson.
good about it. You saw that. He's happy.
If he hits with that, he gets to
It's the
take an
commander
extra turn.
Yeah, that's a sweet commander.
Yeah. Kind of neat at some point.
Now, one of the things that you'll want to pay attention to if you're watching from home is what we were talking about a few minutes ago, right?
How much do you
These
like
decks
that
are going to
right
be
now?
judged by a panel of 3 judges, and you're going to get a feel for the direction that these decks went. Now, you're not going to get to see the whole thing necessarily, just because they're playing a game where you don't get to see all of it. But
Oh,
you
Jesus.
still are going to
Yeah,
get a
it's an
vibe for
island.
kind of
It's
like what
wacky.
flavor aspects they put in. And I
home
want
to a
you at
tribe of
home
winged folk.
to start coming up with your own judge
does that
rulings.
have to
How
do with
what
How
would
do,
you
well, how do you,
judge
yeah,
it?
for example, how do you feel about Warden
you
of
not
the
be at
Evos
home on the
Isles?
deck of a pirate
Does that
ship?
feel very flavorful to you?
No.
Or does the flavor there feel
Just
like
because you're
like
close-minded,
it's like
I see how
MSG?
it affects my deck a little.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
just kind of punching
yeah,
it
I'm
up
just
a
gonna
little.
punch up my Metamai the Ageless and get it into play a turn sooner. Whereas Island of Whack Whack, there,
It's an island.
he took an expedition map to get there.
Yeah, I like it.
Merchant of secrets.
Yeah, I got to say
Ramirez deals in
that
secrets as
the
well as treasure.
I can't imagine that you really wanted to give up the opportunity to have such so much blank canvas that you got with Ramirez, where you're also
Island
not
of
tied to
Whack-Whack.
any kind
Thank
of
you, Word.
existing story.
interestingly, we will note that the head chef was Robert Schuster, and he's actually piloting
You
it
shall
too.
have 0, and you will like it. I'll stand back to block. Let's see how it is.
BDM, do you remember what Island of Whack Whack does?
You are
It has
inscrutable.
ancestral vision.
I know that it's not an island. It says
have
target
ancestral
creature with
vision?
flying
What
has
does that have to
base
do with
It also
power
controls
0 until end of turn. Look what it does. It turns off Metamai. All you have to do is tap it, and it gets them.
Stretchy.
What is this island of walk?
Well, let's see
What
if
is
we can
that?
find anything.
That's
in the
awesome.
I think
floor
that's
debris.
particularly good against my commander.
It's just
For
too
some
good.
reason.
It
The
might be.
a lighthouse chronologist
For some reason,
on the
it's
other side of the
particularly
table
good
as
against
well.
And it's-
Man,
you
this
wanna
is
put a
such
lot of
sick
islands
tech
in
from
your
Robert
deck.
Schuster.
I like
He
that.
put
Sure,
that in
it's a ton
because
of
it has
islands.
flavor and it is wrecking
Yeah.
Metamai
I-
deck.
And by the way, he knew what he was building
Find,
against
here's
too.
your commander. So,
Interesting.
So he gets that kind of like really
Just
that,
the
what
pure
you and I
double
talked
play.
about that idea of
My
like
captain.
you find something that's both
That's actually not my
flavorful
captain. My
and
captain will be
integral
the
to your
long
deck
short distance.
is
We can
really
just
to
mana
me
comes to play on
where
tap.
the big home run happens.
I agree with you.
So you just justify
I
any
think that's
suspend
great.
card then? That's how you feel?
Got an ancestral vision you can see
Metamai
that's
doesn't
sort
have
of
any
floating
ancestors,
around
it's
there.
ageless.
And
Now,
ancestral
I
vision,
like that.
I like ancestral vision.
Yeah, because one of the main themes for the deck that they seem to have homed in on is the idea of seeing into the future, knowledge.
Yep. I like Beacon of Immortality as well.
Why?
The Sphinx is ageless.
Okay,
Should I have
You
this
know.
up?
It's immortal.
that's cool. I
Yeah.
like that too.
Yep. I got it. All right.
Acquires a pretty sweet card in the pirate deck.
That's right.
Yoink.
Very
Getting in
swarthy.
there.
Quite swarthy. Swarthy.
Meanwhile, Warden of Evos Isle pecks away.
Yeah,
This
Metamai
guy's
still
tribal
just
doesn't
locked
break.
down under that island of Wak Wak.
It's
Just, you're not
Pretty
going
immortal,
anywhere.
right? So let's be immortal.
Except, well, Joel's going to 80.
Why is he at 80 life? That was the beacon?
Doubled his life with Beacon of Immortality.
Nothing changed.
By
is-
the way, that gets shuffled in, so we could see Beacon of Immortality
Sure.
again.
Now, the deal here, BDM, is that we're
What has
playing one
changed?
game.
That is a
Yep.
question.
This is why.
You're inscrutable like the Sphinx.
This,
know
my
what
friends at
it
home,
does?
is
Oh, I
exactly
Clue
why.
all,
Yep.
clues all over the board.
Interesting, though, that the
Ooh, Lighthouse Chronology.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying,
Really
the-
out of hand.
yeah, the Lighthouse Chronologist on the other
There's
side,
clues
the
everywhere.
time
Beacon
the
of
deck
Immortality,
built
yeah.
around taking extra turns
Yep.
might not be the
Yeah.
first deck
There's
to
clues
take
everywhere.
extra
It doesn't matter.
turns
We will
in
not
this
win.
matchup.
Another
You
thing
will
to keep
not
in mind,
win
by the way, some
through
cool little
taking out your life
interesting
total. You'll
design
win
things that you'll see is
through
the island
style.
of Wak Wak. It doesn't make mana.
Oh, we have
Right.
that island
Right,
too.
like they used to make lands that didn't tap for mana. Generally speaking, these days they'll tap for a colorless and then do some other stuff, because that's kind of
You may
inherent
think
to
that
what
you
lands are all
play
about. But
Master
back then,
But
in the
we
early
need
days of
somebody to
Magic,
crew
this
our
card,
lighthouse.
is from Arabian Nights. They didn't have that stuff nailed down back then, so it's like
Oh, yeah. Yep.
we'll make a
Good call.
land, and it
Good call.
shrinks down a flying creature.
Yeah, Yol might wish that land tapped for mana, so there's some chance that he'll just tap it.
I know. I mean, 22 years later, it's holding off a Metamai the Ageless somehow. So, bravo.
Get a couple of counters on the Lighthouse
Oh yeah, that's
Chronologist.
a big threat here.
Although we do see the crystal shard.
The crystal shard and is really going to work against Schuster here, as he has tapped out to put as many level counters as he could on the Lighthouse Chronologist.
Yeah. Also, getting an extra upkeep with the Parallax Haze is pretty sweet here.
With the what? Oh, this is Paradox Haze right here, the one that.
Yep.
We're gonna give you more choices.
You get 2 upkeeps.
Cool.
Yeah. So, for example,
that's pretty meta.
he played an Ancestral Visions and was able to cast it within 2 turns.
I see. It just he got an upkeep and then another upkeep.
Oh my gosh!
Is that Zer's Weirding?
That is Zer's Weirding. This game is going to get strange.
Now, BDM, not all of us play as much Commander as you do. Can you, what does this card do?
So Zer's Weirding is players play with their hands revealed, and then anytime they would draw
their
a card,
hands revealed.
Yes,
not the top card of the whole hand.
And anytime they would draw a card, they, I guess I don't remember the exact wording, but they reveal the card.
The cosplay is fine.
And then
the deck not beard trap?
the player can pay 2 life to make them discard it.
Yeah, you're right. That is what it does. Any other player may pay 2 life. If the player does, put that card into its owner's graveyard
Instead of their hand.
Yeah, and otherwise they just draw the card like normal.
So at 80 life,
he can just blank his draw step for turn after turn after turn after turn.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So the question becomes, does he have or find an answer for the Chronologist? We know that he could Crystal Shard it away if he wanted.
That is another option.
well, look at this. He's got
It is an
extract.
option.
Search target player's library for a card and exile it. Then that player shuffles his library. What is he? What did he exile?
Oh jeez.
What card is he getting?
So he gets to pick after searching, right? He just gets to look through, grab one.
what
Yeah,
you have done
it's
with
target
your
player. You don't have to choose a card or name
Do
a
you like
card.
your chances of winning now better or worse?
I'm not sure actually.
Oh, we can see him shuffling
gets to just
through.
see, like, he-
wow, look at this. He gets to see his whole library.
Take away this plunder.
Memory plunder's a nice
don't
one
like
to get
the
rid of.
You got to take Fog
What do
Bank
you do
here,
with
right?
flamboyant failure?
No?
What do you do with flamboyant
That's not how this
failure?
works.
What do you do with flamboyant
Let's give you the
failure?
choice.
And he gets to shard away the Lighthouse Chronologist.
Yeah, he's like,
here.
yeah, you know what? I would like you to do that again.
That's
But you
fine.
know the
I mean,
interesting
I
thing
don't
is
know what a
that
Sphinx would, that's a Vedelkin.
I don't think Schuster actually
Has
likes
nothing
that
to do
much.
with time.
Like, right
is
now,
giving
there's
choices.
still no
It's a
good
riddle.
answer for Larson
Yeah.
for
Free
choice,
the
you have free
Chronologist.
choices.
He can just
Or
replay
give
it,
this
start
time two
dumping
choices.
level counters on
Or
it,
you
and
keep
just
them
move on
up.
with his
It's
life.
up to you.
Oh, I'm keeping it in my hand where it's safe.
Yeah,
From your
you made that
I
unflavorful
don't
choice.
know.
wild.
It's pretty expensive to for him to be able to keep doing that and keep mana up to pay for Crystal Shard and.
It's just one extra, right? I don't know. Maybe you're right.
All right.
Yeah, you see, oh,
One
we're gonna
concern
acquire
deserves
something
another,
now.
sir.
You know what?
We also would like to peek at what you have.
We're
laid out
going
for us.
into your deck now.
All right, so
And we're
now
gonna pick a card, but we're not exiling.
exiling it.
We're taking it.
Something from the
What
past.
artifacts do you have?
Now, what can he get? Just an artifact?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guardians of
Like the
Miletus,
best loot.
Thrantome,
Doesn't look like he has that many choices.
Elixir of
Serves
Immortality.
not the worst, but not great.
Not a ton of artifacts.
So good.
It's a little acquire proof here.
Try.
Perhaps
Powerful
knowing
artifact.
that the pirate deck would play
They
acquire.
played around it by playing crappy artifacts. Jeez.
Sands of Time. I don't know what happens if Zer's Weirding and Sands of Time end up in play at the same time.
Yeah, well, we've got Matt Tabak at the ready.
Matt Tabak on speed dial.
We're not going to pin him on it now.
He just went and got Sands of Time.
Okay, guys. So I'm going to take off. I appreciate all your help.
Hey, we had a good run together, man.
It was fun. We'll see you guys after the lunch break.
Now.
And
I don't
wait,
know,
oh my
dude.
god, wait, and we've got Sands of Time.
But Zer's Weirding's not on the battlefield.
No, it's
yet.
not yet. But we also have Paradox Haze, so we have 2 upkeeps.
Oh, God.
What's going on, Matt? Tell us what's happening.
Oh, you're
please.
actually going to pin him on this?
I
All right,
am.
here's Sands. I'm going to read it for the listeners. Each player skips his or her untap step. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, or upkeeps as it were, that player simultaneously untaps each tapped artifact, creature, and land he or she controls, and taps each untapped artifact, creature, and land. Here, whatever.
Right. So
I'm done.
that on its own, along with 2 upkeeps, is basically the permanents are going to do a little dance.
Yes.
Tapped ones are going to untap, then tap. Untapped ones are going to tap, then untap. You guys with me?
Yes.
All right. So what else?
I don't get it.
So is that going to do? So this is going to do nothing to Yol since he has 2 upkeeps.
Effectively not, right? At the beginning of the first upkeep, Sands of Time is going to trigger, and everything that's untapped is going to tap, or the artifacts, creatures, and lands are going to, the untapped ones are going to tap, the tapped ones are going to untap. He'll go through his upkeep, then a second upkeep will start, Sands of Time triggers again.
Really
And it
We'll
reverses
do what we
back.
just did.
Yes,
So
it is.
unless something happens in that first
should play a
upkeep to
card.
change
You're
what's
not familiar
going
with the
on, it's
magic
effectively going to
involved in
cancel each other
casting
out.
Now, if he,
Or
but
stealing
he
it.
could also just like tap all of his lands during his
Oh,
upkeep there,
Uh,
and then get them all untapped on his next upkeep.
You can, but to little effect because the mana isn't going to carry over
But he
from-
gets his lands for the turn.
from step to step. Right. He can.
They can just do that every time.
Yeah, he can basically get that how he wants it. He's not going to be able to like get double mana out of
Right.
it.
Unless he can use it during, or not even then. He can use it twice. I see what you're saying.
Right. He could tap his land during his first upkeep,
Use all
spend
the
it on
mana,
something,
yeah.
and then they'll untap thanks to Sands of Time at the beginning of the second upkeep.
But that's just an awkward time to have a bunch of extra mana.
Seems good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ramirez. It is time. It is okay. It is okay. For remember, his shard is tapped, and he will have to tap
We're going
it,
to see
and there will not
capsize
be a
with
fee.
buyback here.
We'll be able to use it again. He's got he'll do it in this
No, we're going to see the
Ah.
commander.
That is not very impressive. That is a 4/3 first strike for
Ramirez
6
must make an
mana.
entrance.
I guess it can just start attacking. I mean, he's only at 80. All right, so is Zer's Weirding going to hit the battlefield here or what, BDI?
I don't know.
I don't know if
I'm
I have
still
it in
trying to.
me.
I'm still trying to see what's going to happen here with Sands of Time,
Now,
Paradox Haze.
now, so was Sands of Time
We'll
awkward
continue
because,
partying
like, was there
and
mana
telling you
burn
everything's
before?
going
Is
there
that
was,
how
there,
it
there
works?
was all sorts of
Like,
awkward
would you-
stuff with
'cause
this.
Sit there making decisions.
Ideally, in your upkeep, you want to just tap all your lands so that they get untapped for your turn, right?
Right. Well, famously, Sands of Time comboed with Equipoise,
which I'm looking for. Make
and
sure
which
it's not
I,
in the meta
I
my deck.
pray is not actually in this deck. But so Equipoise, because Sands of Time takes out the untap phase and phasing happens during untap, and
No Equipoise.
okay, good, we're good there. So.
Okay, yeah, I don't know
The-
about that combo, but I'm glad I don't have to learn about
I
it.
mean,
was
what's
a
really
deck.
going to go on if there's 2 upkeeps is whatever starts tapped at the beginning of the first one is going to end up staying tapped. Right?
Look at
It'll
Joel.
untap-
Look at Joel as he tries to figure out what he has to stack
And
here.
the dread pirate Robert over there looks, he's fine with it. He's just sort of, look at that, getting his flowing mane.
Yeah, he's keeping his eye on the game here. Just one.
Be careful not to
You
believe
didn't
his
have to
tall
explain
tales,
it.
especially
I
when
got
you
it.
ask his age.
This is just
You lied about his
that
age.
hat that Yoel's
No,
wearing.
it's none of your business.
That just doesn't remind me of a Sphinx in very many ways.
Okay, so things have tapped. Now, second upkeep.
So it looks like he's just going to tap all of his lands so that those get to untap now, right? Question mark?
Sure, let's go with that.
You going to read it again,
I suppose
BDM?
Ramirez shall retire to his
Yes.
quarters for now.
Yes.
Does that only happen once?
The Sands of Time.
Yeah.
Sands of Time, it triggers at the beginning of each
Oh, there it is. There it
player's
is. Okay.
upkeep.
I just didn't see the second one on the stack.
Right.
Right, so he tapped all of his lands so that when it triggered again,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
would
There
become
we go.
Right, you basically just want to get as many permanents as you can tapped at the end of that first upkeep. So when the second upkeep comes around, they'll all untap.
Now, but what the question I was asking before was back in the day, were you punished for doing that to your lands by getting mana burned?
Oh, certainly.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
and that's
couldn't
just not a factor anymore.
Right.
Okay.
Flattery will get you.
Because now you just tap all your lands and then you get them untapped.
Yeah, now the
anyway.
permanents are just tapping and untapping.
Yeah.
Doing a little dance, making a little love, that
Right,
kind of thing.
but the lands just aren't really an issue for the players. They'll have access to
Exactly.
their
He
lands.
was once a baby, now he is full
This is the
grown.
strangest game of Magic already I've ever seen
Yes.
on a
On
coverage
coverage
stream.
booth, yeah. And you've been doing it for a long time. You've seen everything.
Okay,
This
so
is just
Ramirez
weird.
does not often
Jace Architect of Thought comes down.
Maybe that's the right one. And if you guess wrong, it's a catastrophe.
So, by the way, Jace Architect of Thought is going to be a nice little
I made my
combo
choice.
Mm-hmm.
with Zer's Weirding.
Then it's a catastrophe.
Explain.
Well, because
That's a
he,
catastrophe.
If he ever casts Zer's Weirding, by the way, he seems to have
Yeah.
shied away from
yes,
it.
but it gives him a way to continue to draw cards
It is. Do the thing.
without. Oh, look at this,
Oh, he's
Oracle's
on Oracle
Insight,
business.
which
Oh,
now
you
also.
love that card.
Yes, I do.
Now, is that a flavor
Plenty
win?
of Oracle business.
Oracle's Insight on
absolutely.
Metamite? That's pretty
Yeah,
sweet,
that's
right?
a super
Comes
flavor
down
win.
to
All
Terra,
right.
And he speaks to him of his Oracle's Insight.
And I don't even know what's going to happen now.
He's
It's
looking inside
he's
the
going to get to do
Oracle.
that multiple times because of Sands of Time.
It's definitely from Ferris block.
He taps it, it untaps.
Yeah, that's
He
right.
taps it, it
untaps.
untaps. Oh my god.
Yeah.
You know what we're talking about.
You guys
here.
have got it down.
Holy smokes. We don't have it down. Yo Larson has it. He is going to be churning through that library now.
Although we know that there's a capsize with buyback.
Incoming.
Well, in hand. I don't know if Robert's going to...
He's got 6 mana.
Or will this all be a catastrophe?
Either creatures or lands.
Oh, I see.
Or lands. I get to choose.
He could use it to destroy all lands. That would get Island of Wak Wak off the table, and he could start taking extra turns with Metamai.
I think that's what he's thinking about here.
It does seem to benefit him at the moment, especially now with the Lighthouse Chronologist, and especially if Robert dumps a bunch of mana into the thing. And it looks like Robert is not going to do that. He's left up his capsize with buyback.
Activates. Okay, activates his Oracle's Insight.
Order your triggers. And choose your doom.
And
draws another. Look at this.
This is ridiculous.
Look at this.
BDM's dream has come true.
Yes, you do.
BDM, you had a good run in the booth, but now you've finally seen it all.
Yeah.
What's it like to be at the end?
Unraveling here.
This is ridiculous.
Grandma?
Even Schuster's smiling over there like, really?
Oh, my gosh.
Paradox Haze just doing serious work here for Larson.
All right. You have a medallion.
I do. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
So the Sphinx is giving away the answer.
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes.
All right.
Sometimes when it's nice.
That's some next level metagaming.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, and he's got... Yeah, he may very well just catastrophe here.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to play a land, so that's off the table.
No, I guess not.
Oh, no. Here it comes, BDM. This is where I check out. Zer's Weirding.
Zer's Weirding, I'm at 80.
So a couple things to note about
Yeah.
Zer's Weirding. One, it affects all players. So everyone plays their hands revealed, and if any player would draw a card, that's not just your card draw for the turn. That's any card draw.
Unexpected events.
The other player can
ship
pay
might
2 life for that card to go to the graveyard. They can choose not to, and the original player drawing the card will draw the card. The other thing I'd like to note is, having watched this game for a little while, you guys wanted a commander game, and you certainly got a commander game.
We did indeed.
Okay, so Zer's Weirding is on the stack. It looks like Capsize is being cast with buyback.
Is there anything reasonable to target here?
Metamai, return from whence you came.
Metamai.
Yeah, the
return.
Metamai is going to say, okay, I'm going to drop
Yeah,
one.
and that does get rid of the
Yes,
Oracle
yes,
of
yes.
Insight.
Has some insights
right?
You'll
going on.
notice that
Yeah.
my commander is doing what it
Oracle's
does, whereas
inside,
your
I mean.
commander is scrying
That'll fall
one
off
like,
here.
I
So,
mean, like a
you know, he does
Forseer
accomplish
with a
something
crystal
with that.
ball?
I mean, it's been down to some whack business, right? So you gotta take an alternative.
Well, and it also
course.
taps
Yeah.
all
You
of Robert's
commanders
mana, so
know
you can
all about
untap his
That's
mana.
true. Sometimes you can't go the way people
productively.
expect.
Coastal piracy. Pirate ship.
And now we get to see what Robert Schuster's hand looks like. Now, we can already see it
You did not
above,
foresee
so
that,
I'm going to
did you?
kind of shrink this down over here. But this is, of course, what Yoel has seen. He says, oh, so that's what you're working with. Capsize, coastal piracy, a
Yes,
pirate
only
ship.
gives you choices.
And
nothing
Ramirez is
That's
in
fair.
the
That's fair. Let's
in his
see
hand. It actually
what
got
you
returned
shall
in his
get.
hand.
You may have lands.
So
or you
he's
may
going to
have
cash in
spells.
his Jace here and take either a glimpse to future or a
Oh,
couple of
have-
lands.
I like Glimpse of the Future. That's a nice little...
He took it.
I'll allow it this time.
Good.
Let's get that out of the way. We can see the hand anyway. We just know that Larson can see it as well.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So
Make
So,
more choices.
but now
Draw more
you're
cards.
going to get to scry 4,
Why wouldn't
draw
you?
2 cards. But the 2 cards that you draw, Robert has a chance to pay 2 life
Yes.
for each card draw.
But we can see where this is going, right?
Yeah,
One has 80 life and the other
He
has
can deny 40 card draw. Well, 38 card draws.
Not right now. I have an idea.
I can't figure how Robert Schuster wins. He basically now has to win with the cards that you see on the battlefield and in his hand.
Yes. He's just gonna get lands
He will
from
not
here on out.
get any more.
good.
He may just not
Early
get any
in the
cards.
morning.
Period. Larson has so much life total to work with. Jeez. And we
And-
see head chef
Bonnie
Jimmy
lies
Wong
over
coming
the
in there and
ocean.
giving him some advice, and you can see why.
Bonnie
Jimmy
lies
knows how
over
to
the
build a
sea.
commander deck. He hosts a podcast about Commander
Bonnie,
with his friend Josh
Bonnie
Lee,
lies
and
over the
they know
ocean.
their stuff. They're not messing around
Bring
on
back
that
my Bonnie to
podcast,
me.
and you can see that 80 life and
figure
this
this out.
combo
Don't
setup
worry.
here is
Yeah.
going
I'll
to
figure
make
this
life
out.
very difficult for Schuster.
Bring back my Bonnie to me.
And a
To
little
me.
smirk there from old
Oh, it's
Jimmy
my
Wong as
pickup.
well. He knows what he's like. Yeah, I built this.
Oh no, it's
And there
chocolate.
are 9 cards in hand right now for y'all.
Bring back.
I guess you're gonna get
Oh,
rid of the
bring back my Bonnie
Guardians.
to me.
You can't get rid of
Plea
Plea for Power.
sure, whatever.
Can't get rid of any lands. Aren't you thinking about
Bonnie lies over
Catastrophe
the
here?
Judgment.
Yes.
So, all right, so here's a Jet Medallion. Nice little
Bonnie
flavor
lies
card.
I mean, for me, I'm just like, no. Like, just for the next 10 draw steps, I'm
Bonnie
just saying
lies
no.
over the ocean.
He doesn't even have any black spots.
I don't think you
I'll,
care.
I'll drop down to 60 life just to brick you. Just no. For now,
You get
no.
no additional cards to work with for
Yeah.
the next few turns.
I mean,
think that's
you know,
perfectly
to perfectly game it, you would say,
To
you know,
me.
oh, I'm going to narrow it down to whatever.
So now, important things to note, like Telling Time and Glimpse the Future will put cards in hand without
Do
drawing
you know any
them.
good songs?
So he can actually get around.
So he can get around that, and the Mnemonic
His
Wall
jurisdiction.
can get back
All
his
right,
Telling
Ramirez.
Time or his
The bridge is
Glimpse
yours.
or something else that might be
And
in
I
his
tapped an
graveyard
extra
that,
mana, but
that does that.
matters not.
Another thing to
It
note
matters
here
not.
is that he's got relevant spell. Like, he's got his Metamai.
Yes.
Ramirez,
Right? Like,
prepare the cannons.
that's a huge deal here.
We will be going into battle.
Now you need to tap all your lands here.
Make
So he's going to actually use this opportunity
I know what time it is.
during his first upkeep
Right.
to cast Telling
Time to
Time.
make-
Yeah, we talked about with Tayback a few minutes ago. You know,
Perhaps you
if
can
you
figure out
do
your
have
own
the
rhythm.
chance to use up some of your mana on your upkeep, which again is, you know, you can't always do it, but hey, here you go. It's going to basically get to do that for free.
Taps all his land. I imagine he'll activate Crystal Shard here.
If he knows what he wants to hit anyway, he may as well, right?
Right.
My lace showing on my wig.
See it from your
Yep. Crystal Shard.
Stents.
Ramirez.
Ramirez will stay up in the club
He's going to be able to pay for that.
for now.
Now, that artifact's going to untap too, right?
Correct.
Artifact creatures and lands?
Yes.
Oh, so he gets multiple
So
crystal
I think,
shard
I think,
activations
well, I
per
think,
turn?
right. I think what we're going to see here, I think
Not much of a
think
thing.
it's time for a
Perhaps you'd like to
catastrophe.
join my
It
crew.
was an
want
Azorius
some
clue
clues?
stone, by the way.
what's that? What
No,
he
I don't.
What he revealed. And,
terrible
it looks like Schuster said sure, which he might
I only have so
regret
much
if
of
it
that.
is in fact time for a catastrophe.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, they,
Hey, the
maybe
shields
maybe
are down.
maybe Yoel's not on that plan.
Here, you want more?
Just to
choices?
clarify, guys, you are referring
more
to the
choices for
card
you.
catastrophe and not covering up Yoel's
Choice of
hair.
cards?
correct.
Voting.
Yeah, Tayback, thank
We
you
will
for
have
that,
choices.
that clarification.
Okay,
I do not
just wanted
believe
to
my
make
choice
sure we're
matters
good
here,
for the
Sphinx.
chat.
This riddle is
All
not.
right, so here's play
very
for
good.
power.
So he's going to what? Draw 3 cards
Draw
here.
3 cards. Yeah.
Nope, no line. Okay.
Or is it
4 choices.
put 3 cards in your hand?
It is. No, it is. It's
I
draw.
shall
It should be
correct
draw
that.
3 cards.
Okay, but he just let him do it then.
We shall
We shall see.
see indeed.
Yeah, it says draw 3 cards.
He decided he doesn't want to fight over life total here.
I mean, the thing is, Robert does have some.
But we're going to take an
Yeah.
extra
Take
turn.
Oh, here we go.
Manipulating
You know,
time
this could
here.
spell the
Might
end
as well.
here.
What's about
Oh,
time?
yeah, this is.
I mean, this is one of those turns that just gets kind of out of control.
I get it.
And Larson's all smiles now.
Yeah, he's sort.
All right.
He's kind of, you know.
Yeah, sitting up a
Wig-
little
wiggler,
higher
yeah.
in the chair. Yeah. Oh, it looks like that hair's starting to really bother Robert Schuster now. It's turned on him.
Planes.
You can have land.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe you get Metamai down and then Catastrophe.
I think I
Maybe you
will
just
drop you down
mnemonic
to the
wall.
Oh,
full
he
food
is
punishment
just
for
playing with
your
his food now, isn't he?
misguided answers.
What's that? A wall?
Mnemonic
That doesn't
wall.
seem like
He gets the mnemonic wall. Get back time,
Yes, we
whatever
are,
that time walk was.
Yes, and he can Crystal Shard his own
Mythological
mnemonic wall,
creature
right?
of
Oh,
time.
he can.
And just take
Mnemonic
infinite
wall.
turns
He
here.
can.
Infinite time.
Does he have enough mana to go infinite? There it is.
Yes.
Temporal.
Hang
Get
around.
so
it back.
eventually you'll draw yourself out.
Crystal Shard it back. Replay it. And that should do it. Yoel Larson has Robert Schuster tap down far enough so that he can take infinite turns. And
With
hey,
infinite
even if you
turns
let him
comes
have a
infinite
turn, he can
responsibility.
make it so he didn't draw a card for the next. What did you say it was?
you know,
30-ish,
30 odd turns.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, Schuster hasn't given up yet. Does he know something we don't know? Because I see an infinite turn loop happening here.
Well, he knows that Yol has 10.5 minutes on his clock.
All right.
And Robert is not using any of his clock time. So Yol has to find a way to win here.
Don't think that'll be difficult. Though, yes, he is going to have to build up some more mana. Basically, he needs to get to Metamai, right?
Yeah.
You want more choices?
He needs to be able to cast all of those things in one sequence.
Factor Fiction just entered the revealed card zone. He's like, yes, you can have Factor Fiction.
I understand.
It's a nice hand you have there.
All right, I'm going to time walk again. What is the name of the time walk that he's using?
Temporal Mastery, I think it's
Okay.
called. Temporal Manipulation.
Ramirez has had time
That's
to
a sweet time walk, by the way.
Here's a Master of Predicaments.
Quite the master of predicament. Finally, another Sphinx.
Yeah,
Here's
Oh,
Glimpse
and
the
another
Future.
Beard. Beard Tribal is in effect. Dakara Mystic, or
Wow.
Dakara Mystic, no beard. We shall begin rating
This
the
is just
fashion of your
brutal.
various
I mean, the only thing
Lord of the
Robert has to hope.
Docile, low in
Oh,
breastplate.
no.
We'll go to B minus.
That was Temporal Mastery. That's the
Pretty
one I was thinking
flamboyant,
of.
does cast a decent light around
I
his
love
friends.
this. The Dread Pirate Roberts
Evo
never
Style is known for
surrenders.
some pretty daring fashion.
He's hanging in there.
That's fair.
I don't think that's going to
I
be the
might
case.
actually.
I think once he has a win condition, we'll see the Dread Pirate Roberts
time for change?
safely
Time for
retire to his
Ooh, okay. I like
to his
change.
cabin in the woods here.
But first, you are in a predicament.
And it looks like
Mastery is
what's
temporal.
happened here is Yoel's decided to go ahead and let
Think you're Alexander
Robert
Hayne or
have
something?
one more untapped step.
So what's going on here?
He decided that it was more important to play out a Master of Predicaments,
Ramirez,
as he had enough mana to
return
do that.
fight.
Yes.
Yet another
And
game.
now he can take infinite turns
On
after
the
that
cannons, it's
and
why is
beat
it
up
yesterday all
on
of a
Schuster
sudden?
with his Master of Predicaments. He didn't have quite enough, it looks, to be able to do everything he wanted otherwise, but now he's set up.
Okay. Do the little dance. Cast Factor Fiction during my first
Sure.
upkeep.
Sure, why not?
Well, you can definitely have telepathy and or
Truth or tale?
Traveling Philosopher?
traveling philosopher.
I
Yeah.
actually like that. That
You're
is
okay with
probably
that?
my
If
he
most
kills him with a
favorite
traveling
flavorful choice
philosopher
other than the other
while
beard
taking
thing.
infinite turns, that's pretty sweet.
I don't know if I have the
Is there
patience
weird
for
Your
that these
presentation
Zero may be
days.
later,
weird,
and
but
you
I
will
don't
be
think-
mesmerized.
Though I do
Sir may be
agree.
weird, but he's an enchanter, not a chronologist or a time
Knows what he's
magus.
doing.
Well, sure, but this people who know what they're doing. Deck. It would make sense being piloted by yourself.
We'll
All
take
right,
that later.
now he can start going off.
We shall not pay. We take what we want.
All
Like,
right,
say, your
he's going to
sands
cast
of time.
Metamai.
I gotta
So
be
far,
faster.
it seems like Ramirez has the upper hand
Time Walk,
in terms of time.
in this case, Temporal Manipulation.
So the thing is, he can never attack with Metamai
Oh, Mr.
during the extra turns.
Oh man.
And that includes the ones from Temporal
Yes,
Manipulation,
it just doesn't. It doesn't matter. It just
Yeah.
any extra turns.
including the one that's coming up.
Traveling philosopher.
Yeah, it's
Whatever. He's got the
It's
Master
it's
of Predicaments
Right.
here that can
The
get the job
philosopher
done. I mean, the
Metamai?
Island of Whack
Metamai.
Whack will keep it offline for one turn cycle, but then after that, forget it. Can't attack.
Yes.
All right, who's having fun?
Pray to the sands of time.
I mean, I'm kind of having fun.
Robert Schuster is in.
Merchant of Secrets, please
He's
buy
in
us a
the
turn.
watch my opponent take many, many turns stage of the game here.
Find out Metamai's secret. Expose.
I mean,
Metamai's
clock is actually gonna be
Intuition.
relevant.
I don't get it either. That's a lady with some
Chat's calling him a salty
some
dog.
maps, perhaps some plans, looking at an erratic portal. It seems. Your deck seems to be more themed around erratic
Waiting for Joel
portals
to
than
choose
around
these cards.
sphinxes and time.
This is great.
I mean, you can get 16 attacks in with a traveling philosopher.
Wow. You know, I just noticed that Robert's still holding that sword as well. So props to him for that. Never lets go.
Look at this.
What the?
Cameo, that seems not very.
Wow, you almost
Time
used up
warp.
your one. You almost used it up.
Time warp, time stretch.
Throughout the plane. You should.
But he gets
Metamine never gets to attack
You should
you know.
because he's just taking all extra turns.
But Metamai likes to be there watching all the extra turns.
Surveying,
Yeah.
supervising. GG.
All right. So exile that. That's not coming back.
Ramirez tires
And
of
now
your
is
game.
Tamio.
They take quite
Yeah.
a long time.
So you can set up Tamio emblem with where you just get infinite time walks just with Tamio's emblem.
Yes.
That could happen. 6 minutes. We're under 7.
Come on, Yol.
Metamine can't attack.
Finish him.
He's
I'm
got to
unsure
declare
why.
attackers here. He's got a lot of triggers. Like he might only be able to
You're in an
attack with the
extra
traveling
turn, sir.
I think you're.
Metamine
No, he's
cannot
got the
attack.
master. Yeah.
I know, but the
Extra
master, I'm
turn.
just saying the master's going to start being a eat clock.
That's funny. The Tamio came down plus on Island of Wak Wak. Another thing I didn't think I would see this weekend, but here we are.
Turn to Metamine.
And in the meantime, I think Yol wishes he could just ignore any triggers at this point
Yes.
and just start at hey, I've demonstrated a loop.
Yeah, he's like, don't you want to concede?
Yeah.
No.
I have to actually read this. That player guess whether
But he is actually, he doesn't actually have an extra turn in the bank here, does he?
Didn't he cast the temporal mastery this turn?
Let me see. It must be the temporal mastery, sure.
Oh, I have guessed poorly.
You have it.
Oh yeah, this is
You may
good, clean
speak
fun here at the Community Cup.
I love this.
This is.
Can you win? In
I'm
time?
surprised that the. Why didn't the traveling
time?
philosopher get in there?
I think it's summoning. I think it was summoning
You
sick
are
this turn.
I don't think it was.
Seems
maybe.
you've been
I
waiting
can't
around
keep
for
track.
a while.
There's been
though.
so many turns.
Oh, this is so awkward.
Sphinxy.
Yeah, really. The Sands Time might have been the perfect card for Yol to have cast himself,
Yeah.
but
You have a threatened tone,
Robert
which
went and did it
again
for him
does-
with
yeah.
the acquire.
And look what's happening here.
has
I
a
mean,
tail,
now
but
it's
it does
all
not have
messed
time.
up
It does not
because
have a
like
rhythm.
now the creature that attacked the turn before can't, so he now gets to attack every other turn
Gives you choices.
with some number of
I have not
creatures. He's
had
getting in
many
there for
choices.
4 here though.
You've had very many choices.
We
Beat
attempted to
down.
sail the seas,
Get in there.
traveling
Wait, why did
philosopher.
Omen Speaker
I mean,
attack?
this
Is it
the
summoning
season for
sick?
white robes, but
No.
really,
It should have attacked.
It should have attacked.
Omen Speaker.
It's leaving it back
there's
to
some
block
character.
just in case.
For sure.
All
Standing
right.
in water.
Under
Oh,
6 minutes
I think-
now.
Did he just actually pass the
end
turn?
well.
Pass the turn here?
I guess he did.
He did. Why?
Not sure.
He could have picked up the mnemonic wall, right?
Yeah.
What does that even do?
Let's take a look at his
Oh, yeah.
graveyard real quick.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe he's
Okay, good
that's
to
some
know, good to
graveyard.
Uh,
He can also pick up a time stretch.
yeah, he's got time warp, time stretch.
We shall
That one
attempt some
says
piracy.
target player takes 2 extra turns.
Maybe he really feels like he needs to attack
Has been attacked.
with his Metamai.
It has been.
You think that's it? He wants a free time
See if
walk?
you can
That's
take
I
care of
think maybe
that
he just feels like
extra cameo.
flavorfully he needs that.
Bring it.
God. He's under 6 minutes.
Omen Speaker did her job.
Okay, Omen Speaker
did.
eats
She's pretty good at her job.
the attacker, but that's
been
it.
around.
Also eats up some clock, right? I mean, that's clearly the play there.
Guess so.
Not her first time at the Oracle place, wherever that is. A temple. I'm sure it's a
Man
temple.
left.
I'm sure of this.
It is definitely
it
a
does.
temple.
All right,
Come
let's
on,
play some
Larson,
more loot.
finish him off.
There's the jet
Other than just the
medallion.
loot we
Hey,
steal
let
from
him
you,
draw
which,
it.
By the way, is amazing.
Seize claim.
Good stuff. What can I say?
All right, return mnemonic wall. Crazy Sands of Time stuff.
Wait, hold on.
We're coming up on 5 minutes for Joel.
He's only got Robert down to 26. He still has a decent amount of work to do, though it feels inevitable for him.
Sure that was correct. Positive. Another Sphinx. Well played.
Sphinx of Uthun off the top.
I noticed that one also has a beard.
Gonna cameo Island of Whack Whack. It's gonna target Metamai. Yep. So he's gonna
So he's trying to set up to have just a bigger board here,
Yeah.
where every other attack's actually getting in for a big chunk of damage.
Oh, time stop's interesting.
You may keep it if you wish.
Oh, Riddle. What does Riddle Keeper do?
You think what?
I have no idea.
All right, here comes Mnemonic Wall. Gets back the Tragic Arrogance.
Riddle Keeper's not very good. That was a flavor consideration, I think. It says, whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, that creature's controller puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. It mills them for 2.
Coming up on 4 minutes for y'all.
The pirate ship.
This is getting a little scary here.
Pretty important.
Like, he needs to
Also dibs.
start finishing this thing off. Here's C's claim.
That is now ours. We have claimed it.
It's not doing much.
It is.
Was that the Time Walk land?
This, no.
Yeah, Catastrophe might have saved us a lot of time here on the
Yeah.
clock.
He's not considering it, though. Catastrophe's just buried in his hand. He's not even looking at it.
All right, Pirate Ships
What?
returning
Return the
Mnemonic
pirate
Wall.
ship? No. What? Why would you do such
Sands
a
of
thing?
Time. Tap my.
Pay 2 life? No, that
Creatures
seems like
are
a
tapped.
terrible deal.
Under 4
I have no
minutes.
idea.
Wow.
You have lots of
Tick
ideas.
tock.
I'm
Do
gonna
you
guess
have
this.
the
I'm gonna
time?
guess this.
All right,
I
so
need to
now
look
he's
at this.
he's up
Yeah.
to
Takes too much
Tamio ultimate range. She ultimates at 8 and she's at 8.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. This time is an issue.
Rashad notes that's a real game speeder upper.
Yeah, I mean, it means
I'm
he's
low on
got this
time.
game locked and could not possibly
No
lose
problem.
it, given
And,
infinite time, because he could take
Being
infinite
of
turns.
time.
Right.
We have
The
tried
question
to
is,
beat you at
what
your
about
own game.
given 3
Perhaps
minutes
our
and 40
hubris
seconds?
will be our undoing.
He could take about 3
Tragic
turns the way this clock has been
That
progressing.
is actually a flavor.
He's going to cast
Well
Tragic
done.
Arrogance here.
You
Why?
have been tragically arrogant this entire time.
Why is he
Perhaps
doing
we have
that?
been too, but that is not really the point.
Is he reckless?
You can make choices. Yes, we'll allow you to make choices, just this once.
Rashad says he saw a handshake, but do we actually have a victor
Reserve's
here?
weirding
Like,
is
what
going
is
away.
going on at this point, BDM? Like, Tragic Arrogance is going to wipe away most of the creatures for
We
Larson
get
here,
to keep
right?
the ship and the piracy. This is
Yes.
good news for Ramirez.
Okay.
Good news for Ramirez.
They're still playing. All right, so he's kind of cleared. He basically just killed most of his creatures. Was he
Okay.
able to get rid of the untapping and tapping and stuff? Oh, he did. Yeah, that's what he did.
Oh, he needed to get rid of Sands of Time at this point.
I think he felt like he needed to.
Well, you have to get Time Stretch here, not Time Warp, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he got.
So now he's got Time Stretch with a Tameo emblem.
So that's going to be the end game for Larson,
If the
is
Sphinx
to
cannot master
time stretch every turn.
Oh, and look at this. He gets to attack, but it doesn't do anything.
Attacking, yes, good
It's been
thinking.
whack,
Good
whack.
thinking there.
Thank you.
That was.
Wow,
that
more
was good
precious
thinking.
seconds falling off the clock.
3 minutes.
Now Zer's Weirding still on the battlefield.
Yes.
And Larson again can just say nope, nope, nope,
What
nope,
does the
nope,
community
nope.
want? I shall give them what they
Kind
want.
of indefinitely here. It's
think he
felt like
did.
he's had the game ready to go for quite a while,
would
but
do
now he
anything
sees
for
that
the
red clock
community,
and he's got to do
but I
something
won't
about
do
it.
that.
I mean, if your opponent's playing a deck that is doing Time Stretch and Time Warp and all that kind of crazy stuff,
Yep.
Chronologies.
you don't want. You're
Yes,
not
good
gonna.
hair tie, actually. Thank you.
Okay.
You know, you're not gonna like let your. You're not gonna concede to your opponent who runs out of time.
Beauty is important. Thank you
It looks
kindly.
like we get a ponytail now for
No more of
Ramirez
that
Di
pesky hair
Pietro.
getting in the
It,
way.
it was bothering him.
Should return. Perhaps we should buy our
It's the
time.
cable tie. That's awesome.
It's a zip. It's a zip. It's a zip.
It's a zip tie.
That is a pirate thing to do.
You can also use that to
For
seal the
today.
garbage bag up when you throw that ratty wig away. All right.
We shall
Now you'll.
BDM,
our
when does this end? What is happening here? Shouldn't Yol be taking like 10 turns in a row at some point?
Yes, he
Ultimate
should.
Tamio, play time stretch. Let's get this thing booked.
Yes, he should.
I'm just getting nervous for him. He's under 3 minutes here. He's got to finish this game.
I just had to read the
I
card.
don't think he can possibly finish this game.
I would assume that
He
you did
totally
as well.
can, right?
What is targeting? What is that targeting?
Nothing.
Maybe you're
Oh,
right.
emblem.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
sure,
sounds-
sure.
it sounds
Yeah,
like-
lots of things with that.
Yeah, I read that too. I don't know what
There
it
are
means.
some gameplay stipulations, so a player cannot win
Doesn't seem like infinite time,
unless.
seems like infinite
Yeah, but we
ideas.
don't know what
We
they
don't
are.
know what
so I
unless
wasn't going to
is.
say it because
Yeah.
I'm like,
As long as
that
we're-
doesn't translate well.
But that explains.
It does
that explains
I mean, yeah. The
the
weirdness.
play. Yes.
So maybe we'll get an idea for what those stipulations were as time stretch is now going on the stack. And yes, BDM, Tamio did ultimate.
That's quite the stretch for your deck. No, actually, that was on flavor.
Yeah, we just said
What?
that, Rashad. But what we don't know
He
is
needs no
what the
help.
restrictions
I will.
are.
I will get them.
There's clearly some
need to get
shenaniganery at
them
foot
down.
here, and we just don't know
Doesn't
what
matter.
it is. Exactly.
So cast time stretch,
man.
get time stretch back in hand. That's disgusting.
Oh no! So I have one example, BDM.
Yes.
This is my nightmare.
Yeah.
So Graham says every other turn isn't for attacking. It's only for information gathering and spreading knowledge. That's
That
just
is-
one example.
That is a huge that shores up whatever shortfalls there might be on deck construction here for flavor.
Ugh. I'm so confused. Now, interestingly, Robert's actually fallen behind. Like all that ponytail stuff really took
Oh,
a
look
hit
at
on
his
his
clock. He's under 4
Under
minutes.
4 minutes. Now he's not behind him, but TikTok, as they
I
say
shall
in the
let you take
business.
that turn.
Beacon
Now,
of
Graham, this is a live match, though, right?
know
Like
what?
there has not been a
ahead.
concession or a. Okay, this is real.
Oh, beacon of immortality.
Because that's what he needed to see. He could go for style points.
That is exactly what he needed right now. An oracle.
Right, remember, there's only 3 points on the line here for this match. If, by the way they've played this game, they shore up their flavor score by imposing restrictions, by dressing in costume, that's huge.
No way, man. Yeah, they told them specifically the gameplay will not affect the judges.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the dish itself as it's
would be a
presented to them. Oh, here's Catastrophe. Let's just clean up this board state a little. There's too many permanents.
So we shall pirate while the pirating is good.
Robert wants to capsize
Plunder them!
his own land.
He gets the ping for one with a pirate ship.
And that was a
Fire
big
all
fist
cannons
pump from
directly
that
at
as
the
well.
strings.
triggers.
Oh, yes.
That's game
No,
because Joel doesn't know that F7 exists.
I tried to read this.
Oh, that's game. Piles.
I already did.
Joel Larson cannot get out underneath.
What effect
Oh,
is
this is
even?
too good.
I'm not sure.
Look at Schuster. He can't even figure out how to start making the piles. There's too many.
Piles from? What are the piles?
Call in the recruits.
A pirate must know what the piles
So
are. before
every one of those
choosing.
lands is going back into hand.
Not really sure.
Let me
That
check the
was
combat
Larson's.
clause. Truth or
Yeah.
tale. There we go. Truth or tale.
Look at that smile on Larson's face.
Sure. You can have them.
Clock game engage.
Yeah, I had
All right,
to
it
check
looks
the
like they
combat
sorted
log to see
it,
what the
and
spell
now
was because
Larson
that-
needs to. There we go. He did find it.
Ding.
So now Larson has 37 cards in his hand. I want that noted. And he's got 52 seconds left on the clock, and there's
Pirate
no
will go
way
down.
he is closing this
Pirating.
match out in 50 seconds. Right?
Right. Oh,
Like,
he has
the-
unlimited hand size, too, right?
Yeah, he does. So he doesn't have to go through the whole rigmarole of discard. And realistically, Schuster's not going to be able to do anything to affect the board anymore. But he's got to get him from 17 to dead in 40 seconds here. Don't think that's going to happen.
I must resize your hand.
38.
And apparently every other turn they're not allowed to attack or something weird.
Well, he can't attack on those extra turns with.
Well, but they also have this self-imposed thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Now wait a minute. Is he going to kill him? Is he actually going to kill him in 40 seconds from 26 life?
Anything? Got any big plans?
Oh my God! I think he's going to do it. He's getting him down to 3 right here, and Schuster has nothing going on. Is he going to beat him?
Is he actually going to kill him?
He's got him to 1.
22 seconds.
I don't know, but I have to play to my house. Oh, is that 1 left?
You can't have the island.
He's blanked every draw step, and he did it. Yo Larson wins. The same fist pump he gave when he won the Pro Tour, he gives it to us here.
This was a much better match.